improv is amazing.
Yeah,
it changed my life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How so?
It's hard to be unhappy when you're surrounded by people that all they want to do is laugh and make people laugh.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to be sad around people like that.
The core tenets of improv translate 100% into your daily life. In order to make relationships with people on stage and scenes, you have to listen and listen deeply to figure out how they feel about you. And then the same thing translates directly into real life of I listen to people deeply so that I can build relationships with them, you know, and that's how you make friends. People talk about relationship in business all the time, and I talk about relationship on stage all the time, and then there's like relationship in real life. Like, what do all these different things mean? It's like they all mean the same thing. When you go up on stage and you can create something out of virtually nothing, that gives you a lot of confidence, you know, and that's something that carries over.
Oh, he's the best of the best. He's incredible. He's a genius.
He's so good that you wish you could hate him, but he's good enough that you don't. That's the way I would put it.
Handy blowy.
Andy Blowy.
That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Andy Blowy. He is actually one of the sweetest dudes in the world. You can talk to him about anything. He knows his shit when it comes to improv and, I don't know, life. Like, he's got that figured out somehow. So, he's an alright guy.
He's amazing.
He's kind of a genius.
He's a genius, and he works so hard to keep this
my
place
God.
running. It's ridiculous how
I don't
much,
think he ever stops.
how invested he is.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Andy Sloey. I'm a father, I'm a pal, I'm an assistant professor, I'm the general manager of the improv shop, I'm also an improviser. Yeah, so, I was made fun of a lot. I was a dork. A dorky dork. Yeah, I had big old, I'll even elaborate. I had big old glasses. My mom had giant glasses. They were like big old 80s glasses. They were like, you know, prescription glasses, so they were huge. So then I got the same things, and they had big old monster frames, plastic lenses, and they were just huge. They were gigantic. The first time that I can remember having people pay attention to me in a positive way was when I was asked to be in a play in 4th grade. So when I was reading the script, everybody paid attention to me in like a positive way. I wasn't being made fun of, or I wasn't being called names. People were listening to me and focusing on what I was doing. And I think I probably tribute that with like the beginning of me wanting to be on stage or do stuff like that. I had a longtime family friend named Ryan, who he'd lived 2 houses down from me. We used to like mess around like kids mess around, like videotape ourselves or audio tape ourselves and do silly sketches and silly skits and put on costumes and stuff. And he was actually one of the guys that I started doing improv with later on in high school. But one of the first actual theatrical things that I auditioned for as a kid was because my mom was like, hey, there's this thing in the newspaper and they're asking for auditions. You want to go do that? Because I know you like to do it when you were in elementary school. And I think I was in 6th grade. And I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds fun. But it wasn't ever any pressure. They were just like, hey, you're interested in this, you want to give it a shot? Like, yeah, sure, why not? I think once you do something, anything for a long enough time, you get comfortable doing it and it becomes a lot easier. I did theater every year from that first semester of my freshman year in high school. And then my junior year, me and my friend Ryan, I referenced earlier, we started a improv club that we got to stay after school and practice with, and we actually got to a point where we were auditioning people for membership. I moved up to Chicago after I graduated from Webster in 2002. The idea being that I would audition and be in plays, like I would just act and try to do that, because I had friends that had graduated from Webster and were up in Chicago doing stuff. But when I got there, I started doing improv because I knew that was probably something that I could do regardless of whether or not I got into plays. I could always take classes. So immediately when I got there, I got into Second City Conservatory and started the program at IO. And then that's kind of all that I did. But I never really auditioned for anything else besides improv stuff, just because it was so much fun. I didn't have to memorize anything. I didn't have to put a headshot together. All I had to do was have my skills together and do a good audition. I'd had a hard time in Chicago outside of playing with a couple of the teams that I had played with for the longest time, just in like being comfortable and feeling like I knew what I was doing. I think because I put a lot of pressure on myself because I wanted to do well, and I wanted the people that ran the theaters to see me and to see that I was doing well, so then I could advance and I could get offered other things like maybe coaching a team or teaching a class or substituting a class or doing something like that. So I put a lot of pressure on myself. And then eventually I decided with my wife at the time, like, yeah, let's get out of here. We need to move. We need to be around family. We got a son. This is too much. We never get to do anything. We're always running around doing stuff, and it'd be nice to have family around. So after I made that decision that I was leaving Chicago, and I've said this, I've told classes this, and the first show that I did after I in my own head was like, I'm done, was the best show I'd had in 4 years. Just because there was no pressure, I didn't care, I could be as free as I wanted to be, and it was awesome. Like, I sang in the show, which I never had done before, and the whole team supported me. So there was all kinds of, like, people were ready to support me and to make me feel good, but it was just my own lock in my brain. And I'll still go to Chicago and maybe do a show with friends and still have that kind of haunting feeling around when I do shows up there of like, oh man, somebody's watching, somebody's judging me. And then luckily when I came down here and started doing improv again in St. Louis, I managed to carry that I don't give a crap attitude with me, which left my head open and left me unlocked. In 2009, Kevin McKernan posted an ad on Craigslist looking for people who were interested to take a long-form improv class. And at that time, there were people doing improv in St. Louis. People were doing short-form improv, like Whose Line Is It Anyway? And there were a couple groups, maybe a group and a half, doing long-form improv around then. And he got people to sign up for it. And over the course of the year, he was like, all right, I'm gonna teach you as long as we get enough people through all 5 levels of this curriculum. When we're done with level 5, we'll do a show. We'll do 4 shows somewhere. We'll figure out where we're gonna do it, and we'll do it. Right when that class was ending in the fall of 2010, Kevin and I had been talking with each other periodically before that about helping him promote their student showcase shows. And then he came to me after that and said, hey, we're gonna start doing, an improv shop's gonna start doing a show at the Tin Can on Locust downtown. Do you want to form a team that would be a regular team that would play? And I'd be like, all right, cool. And we'd long talked about me teaching classes with him too, but he'd only had 1 class to teach. So at that point I was teaching for another theater called the Improv Trick. And it was like, why am I teaching long form and you're teaching long form when there's only 12 people doing long form, period? It doesn't make a lot of sense to have both of us teaching the same thing, so why don't we teach it together? That was the inception, both the inception of the class program, which Kevin started, and then the beginning of the shows, which came a year after the class started when they graduated. So you get somebody in that is nervous and doesn't want to talk a lot in front of people, probably because they're afraid of being judged, maybe because they're just genuinely nervous. Maybe they've got something going on where they've been made fun of in the past, or they're just generally shy. When you get on stage in improv with a team, you literally can't say anything wrong. If we're doing it right, everything that everybody says is going to be met with a yes. It unlocks people. It lets them be free because I don't have to worry about what I'm going to say in this scene. It doesn't have to be funny. It doesn't have to be anything. All it has to be is something, because that something is right. Everybody's so friendly and so nice because everybody's so positive. Everybody's so generally positive when people come in. There has to be empathy and you have to want to take care of your fellow scene partners. Be kind to each other, take care of each other, look out for each other. And that's just not my son and my daughter, but like for everybody. Be kind, look out for each other, take care.